Well, good morning. I'm just taping up my paper, waiting for you guys to get on. So I am going to share with you, I'll show you really quickly here. I'm going to share with you, I think it's called Fuumuui. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. I could be messing that up, but these are needle point brushes. You might have seen them. They've been kind of going all around, sponsored ads and things. And I bit this time. I don't usually do that, but these looked really intriguing, and I always love a good tip on a brush. So I've opened the box really quickly, but I really haven't even taken them out yet. So I'm going to do all of that here for you for an unboxing. I'm just taping up my paper. For paper, by the way, this is that really inexpensive paper that I bought on Amazon. I think it was 20 sheets for like $4.99 or something like that. So I figured I would use that today. Just did a painting with this the other day and it actually came out pretty good. I was very happy with it. It does have a lot of texture, but if you're practicing and you want inexpensive paper, really, this is kind of the way to go. I'm just going to jump in here, just making sure that I am live. If you can hear me and you know how to use the chat, pop into chat. Just let me know that you are here.
You have been approved for the new senior food card benefit.
Something going on my phone.
You will receive your card within a few days. You can use it for groceries.
I don't know what that was, but okay. So let's just jump right in here. Not waste any time. So these are called a needle point brush. They supposedly are, they have a shape lock, they have a triple cramp, and they're handmade. And I think they're from China. Let me look at the back here. Watercolor brushes. They have a model number, Fuumuui, if I'm saying that right. I can't even pronounce the manufacturer, so I'm not even going to try. But they are imported by the U.S., out of New York. There's a phone number here, a batch number. Let's see what else. 100% wood from well-managed forests. I'm not sure what that is. They don't tell you what kind of brush it is or if it's synthetic, real hair. There's nothing about that on there. So here they are. And I got the set of 4. I think it was $30-something for the 4. They do have bigger sets as well. I think they have 6. Let's see what we've got here. So the big one is, this is a number 20. I'll take it out while I'm at it. Look, I haven't even taken the plastic off of these. Oh, look at that. So this is the needle point of it. I'm going to rinse this one off because it still, still has the goop in there that they ship the stuff with. So you always want to make sure you wash your brushes off. If you're getting new brushes and you're new to watercolor, you may not know that. And you're like, well, what's wrong with this brush? So it does have, I'm not sure what they use to seal it up, but for shaping, there we go. So it's actually, that's interesting. It's almost flat here. And then we've got this little point that sticks out. I don't know. These will be interesting. I'm just going to reshape it. We'll go to the next one. So the next one is a number 14, a little bit smaller. And these are, they're fairly long handles. So I think this might even be good, to hold at the end if I'm doing some larger work with been working with my 22 by 30 watercolor paper, my arches lately. I've been doing some larger paintings in my Patreon group. And I think these would be really nice for, some of the detail stuff because, again, they're quite long handled. So this is the number 14. And these do come with a little cover on top of them as well. Put that off to the side. And this one is a number 10. Let's see. This is probably more my style for, normal painting size. I think I think this is a 9 by 12 that I've got here. Hi, Maxine. Hi, Diane. Oh, good. We've got some folks here. Yeah, they're interesting. Now, I think, do either one of you have this brush already? for those of you that are live. Let me know if you've gotten these and if you've used them and what you think. So this is the number 10, and the tips of those so far. I mean, obviously they're, one's larger than the other. You can see a slight difference, but goodness, they're pretty close. That tip is very sharp on all of those. So this is the last one. This is the number 4. Love that. Now I love detail, tiny little brushes. I'm always looking for a small brush like that. And this, supposedly, the great thing about these is it's going to hold more paint up here in the belly of the brush. So, when you have a tiny little brush like this, it doesn't hold the paint doesn't hold a lot of it, I should say. So that, I think, is what this is supposed to help with. Plus, it gives you one brush to do numerous things. You've got a wash brush, basically, or a round brush almost, and then a point. But since I haven't tried them, I can't say if I like them or not yet. And by the way, these have, I purchased these myself. They were not sent to me, given to me to try. This is just me doing my own thing. Maxine says, no, the price stopped me for now. Well, let's see if they're worth it. I mean, it's not bad. I think it was $39 or $34.99. I have a link attached to the video because I can't remember. I did it last night, but that's like what, $10 a brush. So, really not too bad. But if you don't need 4 brushes and you don't need these sizes, then, that might not be the best deal. All right, so let's go ahead and try it. I'm just going to use the big one first for a big wash. I don't know what I'm going to be painting here. I didn't plan it. Didn't plan any ideas. It's been crazy. You guys know that we had tornadoes here. My mom was here last week. We had an earthquake here in Mississippi. And now I hear, I don't know if that's still the case, but we're supposed to be getting some of the dust storms from Texas. So I'm just like, wow, where am I? It's been a little crazy. And we did a live for my Patreon group. And I totally spaced out. I totally forgot. It was like 5 minutes before I was supposed to go live. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a live here in a few minutes. So Mom and I scrambled. She helped me out. Thank goodness she was here. Let's go with a little, I don't know what color I want. Let's just start with a little bit of green. Okay. So here we go. So there is the tip. I'm looking to see if this would be, good for, I'm wondering, that looks like a tree, doesn't it? So it does have a nice little squiggle. That's the big one. They are a little interesting as far as how to use it. So I have a little string on there. That could be a string or it could be part of the brushes. I'm not sure. So I've got this little doopy-doo. It's really kind of hard to use this part of it. So I can't really use it as a round brush. I think it's more about using that tip and this holding all of that water for you or all that paint for you. That's what I'm going to go with. So that it does definitely hold a lot of paint. Look at that. So I have to use, I probably could use that tip a little bit more. So I don't think this is good for, for loose florals if I'm trying to get like those shapes in there. Definitely good for a tree though. Look at tree. This could be a cherry tree, I suppose. Let's just do a little bit more in here. Because you've got a lot of control with that tip. Look at that. I'm kind of choking up on it. Let's bring it back a little bit and see what I can do. So it's definitely messy. But boy, that tip, I can get some nice line work with that. Almost looks like I have hydrangeas, doesn't it? I think I'm going to add a little bit more blue to this one. I don't know, it look like a blue hydrangea. So look at all that water. I mean, that definitely holds a lot of water. So that's the big one. Again, I would probably use this larger one. I I mean, again, if you're just using the tip, you can use it for any size, but I probably would use it because I want to hold a lot of water in my larger paintings. So let's do a little bit of green. So let's just say this has our little tip. Look at that sharp line, that sharp edge. Got a little purple in there. Again, not necessarily supposed to be a painting, but you know me. I start with that idea and then it doesn't stay that way. All right, so look at that. I got a nice little separation there just by pushing down on that. Let's try to do a leaf. Whoa. Okay, guys. A leaf with that nice little tip at the end. That kind of worked. Look at that. Okay, it didn't work so well there. I think it would take some practice for that. But it does do some nice leaf shapes in here as well. So that was the 14. Now I'm getting into some sizes I might really enjoy. Let's see. Let's go with another little pink, maybe. So this one, I can almost use the base of that as well a little bit more with some edging on here. Just doing a very loose kind of hydrangea. Look at that. Okay. Super loose. And again, I think once that dries, let's drop another little bit of purple color in here. But it does hold. I mean, look how much paint I have that in there. If I could speak. I'm just going to spread it around a little bit more. A little purple on the bottom. Okay. All right, I'm digging them. I'm going to go with a really small one now. I think this one's going to be my favorite. This was the number 4. And again, I'm using the really cheap paper. You can see the texture that paper has. I think one of my students, Shelly, had just done a larger painting and she had used the Winsor Newton paper and didn't particularly care for the texture. You know, it's a little different, but for practice, it's not bad paper. I mean, it does buckle a little bit. It doesn't have a whole lot of sizing on there, but still, it's not bad. Just tucking another hydrangea maybe in the underneath of here. We don't know where this one is. That one ends. Didn't know I was doing hydrangeas. Diane, it almost seems you just need one brush. Right. I think that is kind of the test that I'm, thinking about, because this is, I think it's what it's meant to do, is not necessarily be a round brush, but meant to be a very detailed, sharp brush, which, I mean, there is a difference on, on size on the tips of those. Let me come in a little closer on all of them. Let's see if I can get them in order for you. Holy cow, I can't move right today. Let me bring them up in the top here. So, I mean, there is definitely a difference, but there's not a lot of difference in there. But I think it's going to really be all about how much paint it holds. Those bigger brushes are going to hold a lot of paint. So if you're working on a bigger painting, you're not going to have to dip your brush as many times into your paint to work on some of those larger spaces. As I said before, if I have a small little liner brush, which is what that would be at the top, a liner brush, I'm dipping constantly into my paints. Hi, Shelly. I was just talking about you. Are your ears burning? Just talking about your painting you did the other day, and you used some Winsor Newton paper, and you like the arches better. Okay, so I have all of that detail in there. I really like the purple in that one. This might be a little bit too late to drop in here, but let's just see, look at the detail. Look how tiny I can get that little line. Let's add some water to it. Yeah, I don't think they come, I'm not sure if they come in singles, you guys. I think they have the sets of 6 or they have the sets of 4. This was the smaller set that I purchased, was the set of 4. But let me try a little leaf here. Let's just see how much different it is compared to this one. Now, this one was the big brush. So that one held a lot of paint. Not bad. I have to kind of come back in to do it. But if I use the whole base of that one wasn't so good. Let me load back up. Yeah, not the best for, I think the bigger brush worked a little bit better. That one, maybe it was my angle that I was on. Oops. How many, that's not even how you do a leaf on a hydrangea, is it? Hydrangea leaves are like big. Let me push down on it. So again, I can get a nice tip. It doesn't give me that looseness of like a dagger brush would give me. So, I mean, it's different. You have different brushes that do different things. Yeah, Shelly, you couldn't find singles either. I mean, I don't know if they're new to making these, and this is just like the first kits that they're coming out with. I don't even know. Most of the sets I saw were size 6, so I don't know how I found this one. But so on Amazon, different company sells what looks like the same brush in at least one size single. Aha! Scroll under the company. Thank you. That's helpful. So they may sell them in Canada that way. So great. Have you tried them? I'm curious if you've tried them yourself. Now, Shelly, you said you have them. What did you think of them? I'm just curious. That's actually not too bad. I'm just kind of waiting for this to dry a little bit. You can see I've got a little bit of detail in that one. But again, if you're looking, for, I'm going to use the tip for this one. If you're looking for, real detailed stuff, I think this is going to be good for that. Come out. I'm trying to think what else I can put up there. You saw them when you looked them up. Okay. Well, I think, and if they don't have them here, maybe they will think about it. Especially, if people keep trying them out and they're demoing stuff and, people speak up. That is not the right leaf, you guys, for a hydrangea. Just saying. I know. Diane says a set of 6 has more of the smaller size brushes, which I'm interested in. Yeah, the smaller size brush, again, they don't, if I don't use this part, it really doesn't matter what size the brush is, honestly. You can use a huge brush. The tip on this one is a little bit bigger than a liner brush, but there is not a whole lot of difference between those. So this is what's going to hold all your paint, and this is going to give you that sharp point. So let me just, do I want to put that? I don't want to put that aside. I'm just going to show you here. So this is the big one. Okay, I'm going to just, whoops, I got to load up. I'm so used to I just loaded up just the tip of that brush, which is not the purpose of this. I'm going to do a big puddle of blue here. So I'm going to come across and push down. Look at that. I mean, it's got a lot of paint. That's a big one. I'm going to put that aside because I don't want to waste all that. So let me do the small one. I don't want to come up here. So it is thinner. It's quite a bit thinner. And this part obviously is going to be a lot thinner because the brush is smaller. But I'm not sure, if I'm going to use that for abstracts, things like that, that might be something I could work with a little bit more. But if you're just looking at that point, that's the point of that one. What's the point of it all? This is the point of this one. I wonder if I can go thinner in this. Yeah, if I put a little bit less pressure on there, I can almost get to that same line. Now, if I push down, I can get a thicker one. Push down, I can't get as much thickness on that one. Again, I'm just trying some things out. Well, look at that. That could be a nice little, very thin, kind of feathery looking leaf or feather, bird feather. Let's try this one. Again, I'm going to put some pressure down and lift up. Cool. I don't think that was the intention of these, but let's do that medium size one just for giggles. I have to come down here, push, pull. Look at that. Again, not a whole lot of difference in that size of the tip, but definitely in the size of the brush. So, you know, if you're going to use this to fill in a background, for example, which maybe I'll do with blue since I've got so much of this going on. You know, if I'm going to use that to fill in a background, these bigger brushes are going to be quite nice for that. Look at that. Just using a mixture of color that I had on my palette. Now look at that. This is an interesting thing too. I can go around all of that little stuff because I've got this little point. So not only can I fill that in, okay. Remember, when you're experimenting with new stuff, you're not going to get it all down the first time. You're going to learn as you use it, and you're going to come up with new things that work for you. And I just realized that this makes it really easy if I'm doing a background and I've got those little tiny details to kind of work around. So look at that, I can get right in there. And then use that belly, because I know, look at how much paint that holds. It holds a lot of paint. Getting back to, you know, having the one brush. I have to be careful though with some of that area that I don't hit that belly of the brush here because I don't want to cover up some of that area. But look at that, I can get in around here. I've got a ton of paint. I mean, you've seen how long I've been going here now. Let's just work around this one. Let's get down in here. Really small little area. But that was a leaf there, wasn't it? So I'm going to load back up on my paint again now. I can tuck it right in there. Thank you. Happy spring to you. I know today's officially the first day of spring, right? Am I right? And amongst tornadoes, dust storms. Oh my gosh. There's no hurricanes. That's good. Yet anyway. So look at that. You really can. I mean, look at the, I still have a lot of paint in there. I'm still loaded up. Again, I'm just using what's on my palette here for colors and just kind of smearing it around. Let's see if we can cover up some of that practice. It's got a little bit more blue in here. Look at that, pushing around in there. And you guys know that I love to paint fast. I like to paint loose now. I used to do all of the detailed stuff, which I still do, you know, with the trees and stuff. But I think I like these. I think they are going to be a winner. I'm going to play around a little bit more with it. Let's tuck some in here. I didn't think about where my light was in this, obviously. I'm just didn't even know what I was painting when I jumped in here, so it works for spring, right? Let me go in now and go with some little darker values. So look at all the detail. Little scribble motion, little funness. I've been using the 14 for this, in case you're curious. Adding in a little bit more darkness in here. You can even add some more darker values to the leaf. Now let's try this while I'm in here. Let's give this a little detail on that leaf. Look at that. So I can definitely use this one brush and get a nice amount of detail in here. I have a habit of loading up. I don't even think I need to load up this brush as much as I just did. Like that. Again, we're playing, just having some fun, trying it out. So you have to let me know what you guys think. I've got kind of a glare here. Oops. It's stuck to my table. I'll come up this way with it. But, you know, for a very loose little kind of quickie, this was fun. Well, I hope this helped you guys out. I hope it you know, give you an idea of what you can use them for. And it was fun going live. I haven't gone live for a while, so Maxine says I'll probably purchase one when I can. I like how it's working for you. Yeah, I mean they're fun. It's kind of, I think it's kind of one of those things that'll be cool to have in your painting toolbox along with the dagger brush. You guys know, many of you have been following me for a long time, and when I started teaching classes, I just used my little Cotman kit brush and an oval wash brush, and we did everything with that. So it's not necessarily about having every single brush, but as I have, you know, learned to create a little bit more, and I, you know, experimented a little bit more, having a few of these little funsy things are not, you know, maybe a necessity, but they sure are fun. And, you know, I think you learn a lot, and you know, when you practice and play like that, you can come up with some new things. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you guys real soon. All right, bye.